I believe really strongly that this man is an addict in the same way that you would be an alcoholic or you would be a drug addict. This is beyond normal behaviour.
You wouldn't give an alcoholic booze.
You wouldn't give an alcoholic booze, and
he needs help.
And as Jane says, it's not the fault of the carers that they're going out to buy this particular kind of food. But you know, if you think about it, imagine how depressed he is.
Oh, he cannot move.
Sad. He cannot do. He's completely incapacitated. We know how hard it is to just eat a sensible diet as part of society, going out and having a life and having support. And I just think it is absolutely tragic that he's being left to rot like this. And I do think that we have to take drastic measures. My husband is 10 years now in recovery as an alcoholic, and he went into rehab 10 years ago. And people don't realise this. They had people that were sex addicts, alcoholics and food addicts, and they all had exactly the same treatment.
Yes.
That's what people don't realise. People do.
I didn't
there are
realise
some
that.
people. Yeah, it is treated in exactly the way that somewhere at some point, and he talks about that. You've learned to suppress what you're feeling, to push down what you're feeling by eating. And some people, not everybody, of course, that's overweight, but some people have a food addiction, and he is compelled to eat. Now it's interesting there because he says he doesn't want a gastric band, and do you know why that is? And I think any addict counsellor would agree with this. That is because he's terrified of not eating. So he makes sure that is literally like walking into into somebody with a crack addiction and giving him everything to do it, and it's madness.
I see him as a victim. I really do. This man needs help.
The bottom line here is the only person that can stop all of that food going into his mouth is him.
No, so I don't believe that.
Not at this moment.
Listen, the only person that can do that, what I'm saying is we have to help him
get to
that place.
Well, he's not the only person.
We have to enable
else.
him to take personal responsibility for what he puts into his mouth.
Yes, but the thing is, it's like when they said to me, when they said to me in the rehab, and I used to have to go for the family day week, and they said, people have this idea that what happens is one day an addict wakes up and says, I have to change. It's very, very rarely like that. It's usually because family or friends have said, that's it, that's enough, we can't take anymore, and they hit an absolute rock bottom. And he is not going to suddenly turn around and say, OK, I want to be on a 1,500 calorie diet. Because even if he did that,
he's asking for help.
It's the issues underneath. So you could put a gastric band on him, you could starve him down, and he will go back.
Unless we deal with the issues,
to shut up.
But that's why I think we should pay for, you know, whatever psychiatric help that he needs. But what worries me is
he is going to rehab.
Also this week we've read about Georgia Davis, the teenage girl who is now 55 stone. She has had all of that help.
But I do think...
And what happens is you place them back into the environment that made them that way in the first place.
But I do think we need to be mindful about how we have these conversations. It's not our job to make people feel bad about themselves. There's no compassion.
But they're asking for help. That's why we're having this conversation. We're not pointing at them going, ooh, look at these fat people.
But it's how we have the conversation.
They are saying, help us. And, you know, and that's what we have to do.
But I think we need to have the conversation with a much more sort of compassionate attitude.
A lot of
this
people
is an illness.
Think, just stop eating.
It doesn't work like that.
Well, I mean, I think that we are having that. We're sitting here are feeling very compassionate towards him and that it is an illness and that obviously not only he needs support, but I agree with you, Jane. It's all very well that, you know, giving him outside help and, you know, maybe taking him somewhere. The people around him need to know that they're killing him by buying the food for him, the feeders.